Okay, welcome back, my AP Art students. Today, you guys are going to start a project called your Family Portrait Project. Now, this should be your second project on your checklist sheet in your folder, so make sure to follow along that checklist and check off as you go. But let's get started. So, you guys are ultimately going to create almost a self-portrait, a family portrait, or a friend portrait. You do not only have to stick to family members, but when you create this family portrait, you are going to choose objects to resemble each member. So ultimately, you're creating a family portrait, but thinking about it more in a conceptual way. So instead of painting or drawing people, you're going to be creating a still life instead. Now, before we get started, I do want to say with this still life, I want you to create it as interesting as possible. So don't just take a picture of a bowl of fruit and call it a day. Really think about how you can change this still life up. That could be the background or choosing a more interesting angle. So creating a more interesting composition. So the interpretation for this project is wide open. It's a wide open prompt. So your examination of ideas needs to be clearly explained and investigated in your sketchbook before you begin your final piece. This will help formulate a solid plan of objects that will work well together to describe the members of your family or your friends if you choose that. Remember to think outside the box. Now, you guys are going to be given kind of a list of directions, and with that, you're going to be sketching for this project and kind of journaling alongside of it. So just a reminder, with each project, you need to sketch, you need to take pictures of your project or process and your progress, and you guys will do a peer review as well, as you've probably found out in your first project, the Layers project. So with this example here, they have chosen different beverages to encapsulate their family portrait. And I want you to pay attention here to this background. This background is not of these different cans sitting on a coffee table or just a random surface. They are actually floating and creating a very interesting composition. So think of this example when you start your project. However, this example, they did choose to keep to their reference photo, where they probably just stacked these items themselves and then took their picture and kind of went about it. However, the reason why this one's more interesting is one, how they arranged the items, and two, the angle of their photo. And then also the surface that they've chosen to set all their items on. So those three things there. So the angle here, it's almost as us, the viewer, we are on this table with all these items, kind of looking up at them. And then also the surface, if you can see how it's reflected on there, it just kind of creates more of a wow factor within this piece. So if you're someone that typically likes to go kind of hyper realistic and really go based off your reference photos, I would think of this as an example when you start your piece. This is also a great example as well, where they have stuck to probably using their reference photo, but they have gone super high contrast. So it looks as if they have chosen to do this on black paper. Now you guys know we have that nice black paper in our back supply closet. Just make sure you're grabbing the paper. It's really thick. It's like cardstock and not construction paper. So it should be back there. Honestly, closest to my room. I think that's where I moved it. But anyway, they started on that black paper and worked in white colored pencil. And how they arranged them, I love how the items are kind of going off the composition and out of the frame, and it's creating an interesting composition. Now this one's a totally different style where they kind of have taken more of a graphic design route, and that is perfectly fine, perfectly acceptable. And in this case, they have chosen to use different cars or vehicles. I love this example as well. They have gone super highly detailed, like look at the reflection and glares in this Simply orange juice. Honestly, best brand of orange juice. I don't know about the light part, but best orange juice there is. But anyway, they have chosen to use a variety of foods. I love this example just because I would probably use this kind of same idea because my family is, we are big glasses wearers. Although I don't really wear them on to school now that I'm thinking about it, but we all wear glasses. Anyway, I love how they assembled their eyewear. I'm assuming that these are kind of youngest to oldest. Maybe like these are the kids and maybe like mom and dad. Who knows? But anyway, I love this example. And I also want to point out these are all different mediums. So this is pencil. This is probably paint, colored pencil, and then paint. And I would say paint here as well. So you are allowed to choose any medium that you'd like. And then this is probably my favorite example just because they went above and beyond with this background and honestly really tried to create an interesting composition. I love the eggs here. And this, why am I not thinking of the word? Silver can or silver, I am not thinking of this word, but anyway, this canister. And then also the cards, like look how cool that is. Okay, so those are the examples I'm going to show you. And in your folder, you should have this sheet here, and this is pretty much what you're going to go based off of your directions. Now, the first step is to list the members of your family. If you have chosen friends, list your friends. Also not limited to humans, so if you have pets at home, more than welcome to include those in the portrait as well. I want you to list their hobbies or pastimes, everyday actions that would help you with the next step, and that would be to choose one object that would resemble this person, pet, friend, etc. Then I want you guys to create 3 thumbnail sketches. I put on here 3 to 4 inches each. You can go larger if you want. And then think about a challenging composition. Remember, you are creating a very interesting still life. So really encompass that in your sketches as well. So think about overlapping, foreshortening, in a variety of sizes and objects, color schemes, etc. Now, with these sketches, I want you to journal your thought process around the thumbnails, kind of citing your strengths and weaknesses. And the one with the most strengths is the one you're going to choose. So choose the strongest thumbnail and explain your choice. Don't forget to explain your choice. It's very important. And use this thumbnail to arrange and photograph your piece or your items for your final. I put on here on good paper. That's if you choose to draw. So if you choose to do colored pencil, make sure to use some Bristol paper. If you choose alcohol markers, use some mixed media paper. Just don't do this within your sketchbook is what I'm trying to say. So find some good paper around the room. If you can't find it, ask your teacher or feel free to email me. I'll tell you where to grab it. And then, of course, if you're choosing to paint this on a canvas, not on paper. And then make sure for your final, you need to make sure you have your own reference photo. Do not pull this from the internet. There should not be an internet image that encompasses your family. So make sure you're taking your own reference photos. This is very important when we get into your portfolio. Oh, also I said for your final, it should not be no smaller than 12 inches on any side. So don't go super small. You guys will have 2 weeks on this project. For your grading, you'll be graded on your sketchbook and your journaling, your written thought processes, and then these all kind of go hand in hand. And then for the project itself, you're going to be graded on your composition, your drawing skills, your use of medium, and overall creativity. You're also going to be graded on your documentation, which you guys know from your last project, and then also that mid-project peer review. I didn't put those there just because those are included in all your projects. But anyway, all right, make sure you take a good reference photo. You should be drawing or painting this as if you were creating this for your portfolio, which you kind of are, because you're ultimately going to choose this for one of your selected works. Do not settle for mediocrity. You guys are an extremely talented group of individuals. Just because I'm not there, I'm not there, but I still expect the very best from each of you. So no cartoons, no anime, really original artwork. And then you guys have a rubric for this project. And then here is your rubric. It is in your folder as well. And I don't want you to forget, you have some written response questions. And it's just these 2 questions right here. You're going to turn this in with your project, just like you did for your layers project. I don't think I mentioned that in the layers video, but anyway, this is your rubric for your project. And then I believe that is it for your family portrait project. If you guys have any questions, feel free to email me, and have fun creating. Bye, guys.